Hello, I'm Dr. Fred Ferlic, South Bend, Indiana. I'm an orthopedic surgeon of 40 years. I took care of Notre Dame teams for 30 years, and I'm here to tell you about the TayCo external ankle brace. It was invented at the University of Notre Dame by Mike Bean, a trainer, for sprains on the football field. He could not get players back on the field same day, same game, when he just taped and used air casts. So he invented an external brace that fits over the shoe, so it fit over the football shoe. And the players were able to come out with an ankle sprain, and he was able to put it over their shoe immediately and then spat it on or tape it on. And they went back and played. In fact, the universities used it on numerous players the last 2 to 3 years. The reason it exists is because it provides stability and function outside the shoe. It allows the player to move his foot up and down and yet prevents inversion or eversion or prevents a sprain. So we've had great success on the athletic field. Subsequent to this, we were approached about using it for other patients besides football players. Therefore, we expanded it to the workman's compensation patient who has to wear a steel-toed shoe, so we have a special TayCo external ankle brace that measures for a steel-toed shoe. And we also went to the regular patient who suffers from a ankle sprain, ankle fracture, whether it's been fixed or not, posterior tib insufficiency, any neurological disease such as multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. The brace is meant to stabilize people so that they can walk. I believe the TayCo external ankle brace will potentially replace all cam walkers, which are those large black boots that you cannot function in. You can't drive with this, you can't shop with this, you can't walk with this outside because it's bottom surface. It weighs 3.5 to 4.5 pounds. The TayCo external ankle brace weighs 12 ounces. It'll also virtually replace all long-term cast, because we all know what cast can do to an ankle, the skin, and the atrophy. The muscles cease to function if you're in a long-term cast. And it'll also replace most internal, inside the shoe AFOs, because these rub on your skin. If you have any kind of vascular problem or neuropathic problem, you get skin ulcers, and you can't use your own orthotic. With a TayCo external ankle brace, you can use your own orthotic inside the shoe. There are 2 types of TayCo external ankle braces that fit over the shoe or the working boot or the football shoe. One, we have a custom version, and the custom version is meant for long-term care. So if you had a patient with osteoarthritis of the ankle or rheumatoid arthritis of the ankle or a posterior tib insufficiency where their foot is collapsed or multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's or Alzheimer's that's always falling and they're breaking their hips, then you would want a custom model. That is measured in a matter of 2 minutes with a caliper and a tape measure on the patient's leg, either leg by the way, and also with 3 photos from your smartphone of their patient's shoe. We're the only custom AFO that you do not have to cast. All other AFOs you have to cast. The second type is the non-custom, which is off the shelf. So this fits to a specific work boot or to a specific jogging or walking shoe. As far as the measurement is concerned, like I said, we're the only AFO that does not have to be casted. So all you do is you take 2 measurements of the patient's ankle, one at just above the ankle and one 6 inches above the ankle. You take the circumference with our tape measure here that we provide, and you record that on this sheet right here in the 2 circles. And then you take the caliper and you measure the width just above the ankles and 6 inches above that, and you record those 2 numbers there. And most of the physicians are having their assistants, whether it be a PA, a nurse, whatever, do the measurements for them. It takes less than 2 minutes to do the entire measurement. So you record those 4 numbers here, you put in the patient information, what color they want. You take a picture of this with your smartphone, and you turn the form over, and this is a 10-inch grid, and you fit the shoe on this, and you just set it like this. And without moving it, then you take 3 pictures, one from behind, because we want to know the width of the patient's heel, one from the side, and one from the top with your smartphone. Then you email or text or fax those 4 pictures to us here in South Bend, Indiana. This brace is made in America, by the way. We have 30 certified orthotists and prosthetists working on this. And we get the information, all the information we leave before the patient leaves your doctor's office. The important thing is this is for the custom brace, and then it takes us 2 days to make and a day to get it back to you. If you need it in California, we can get it back to you within 36, 48 hours on a rush order by FedEx or UPS. But for the non-custom, you don't have to go through all these measurements. Off-the-shelf one for an acute ankle sprain, which most doctors want to be able to say, here, put it on right now. Then that just goes by size of shoe. So this is strictly for the custom brace. It's important that the patient's shoe be either a tie shoe or a Velcro shoe, in that you don't want a high heel. If you have a bad ankle, you shouldn't be wearing a high heel, or you don't want some flimsy beach shoe. So what we recommend is either you measure the steel-toed work shoe for the workman's compensation, or you measure a jogging or a walking shoe. You can also use, if he's a banker, use a Florsheim or a banker shoe if he doesn't want to wear a jogging shoe. But it has to be a good shoe. The other piece of vital information besides the measurement form is the prescription form. We have an all-in-one prescription form, which has, on our website, we have the top 40 most used ICD-10s, in other words, DRGs, diagnosis for ankle problems. So the TayCo external ankle brace applies to all 40 of the most top utilized ICD-10s. On the form, we have the top 11, and then on our website, we have the rest. So let's say you have an ankle sprain of the deltoid, you have a high ankle sprain, you have a drop foot, you have posterior tib insufficiency, you have osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. So your provider, your physician, will just hit the box, right, left, or bilateral. These are all S&M codes. And then he goes down. If he's going to use the custom brace, then he hits custom. And if he's going to use the non-custom, he hits non-custom. And then he decides which one he wants as far as standard. That's the range of motion one. Of the fixed at 90, that's for the drop foot or the ones that don't want to move the ankle. Or plantar flex 15 degrees for Achilles. Then the physician has to include his office notes, as you know, to be paid for the brace. And on this, I have a form here that tells you exactly suggested language to get reimbursed for the ankle brace. The non-custom or the acute or the off-the-shelf model you have stored in the physician's office, and he just asks the patient what size shoe, and then his assistant puts it on, which is very easy to do. Now, both in the custom and the non-custom model, we have 3 types. It's a range of motion, it's fixed, or it's 15 degrees plantar flex fix for Achilles problems. Then you take the screw out to convert it to a range of motion.
From start to finish, all these braces, whether custom or off the shelf, depending on shoe size, are made in South Bend. Here's a quick sneak peek how. First up, Chris Shoemaker, who makes the digital version of the brace by starting with foot measurements.
I have a CAD CAM system here where I will enter those measurements into a grid, and in that grid I'll put the measurements, and then that'll help us create from that measurement what the foot's going to look like.
From Chris's custom version of the foot, the computer sends the dimensions to one of these carvers for step 2. They're actually robots, and the first of the kind in the United States.
It's imported as a STL file, and the robot sits there and carves it in half the time it would take for a plaster to do it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
From the robot, it's on to this talented duo who form the boot. Once it cools a half hour, it's on to Mario, who buffs it and puts on the finishing touches. Product finished, it's either on to the gridiron or to people like Jackie, who can't say enough about these life-changing braces.
And I'm convinced, after 40 years of orthopedic surgery, that this is the most revolutionary non-operative device for ankles that's been invented. And I think that we're going to change millions of lives and help millions of people. Thank you.